Here in Russia, it's been estimated that there are up to 700,000 orphans. Some estimates have it at 2 million. Some say that, care for orphans has gotten better, but really since the system's changed here in the last 2 decades, people are a little bit more preoccupied with trying to make ends meet and trying to make things work and financially for themselves, and so sometimes children fall by the wayside and all of that. But we're here, not trying to change the world, just trying to change the world for this one little boy. My name is Hanna Rasco. I live in Boone, North Carolina. I live with my wife, Hanna. We've been married for 7 years. We have 3 biological children, Emma, Elise, and Jonathan.
Let's go find some corn. You want to find some corn?
Yeah, I'm getting hungry.
Are you getting hungry?
I have always wanted to adopt. I think it's a beautiful picture to bring a child into your family who doesn't have a family and make them a part of your own.
Let's go this way, look.
Hey, we go this way. Go this way.
I think that in America we are incredibly blessed, and you look at the problems that are in the world and you see where you fit in that picture. And I feel like we have love that we can give.
Yay!
We did it, Emma! In my career, I've traveled for a missionary organization and now for an international relief organization. So I'm always seeing the need out there. I'm always, confronted with the needs of children. And so I just wanted to be part of the solution, I guess, even if it was on a smaller scale.
This week we're signing the rest of our dossier papers and getting them apostilled by the Secretary of State.
In the international adoption process is a mound of paperwork. There's dossiers, background checks, home studies. You're also writing support letters to your friends and family. And how expensive is all this?
Very expensive. And apparently, Moscow is the most expensive city in the world. Who knew?
Hanna and I have dreamt and thought about the possibility of adopting a child. Yet when it finally comes to, can we really do this? Can this really happen? So when Jonathan was barely a year old, Hanna said, well, are we gonna do this? And I was like, well, are you kidding?
All of our children are 15 months apart. It's always been my hope and desire that if it was possible for us to adopt, that we would be able to adopt children that are in that same age range as our children, so that we can grow up as one family, that Jonathan and our new son can be brothers together and grow up with that same special bond that our 2 girls have.
And so here we are. Jonathan's almost 2, and we have tickets and a visa to go to Russia to meet this baby. We're nervous and excited, and we can barely sleep at night, even Sunday, just the panic call of we need last-minute paperwork signed, apostilled by the State Department. We need it right away, otherwise you can't go. We're waiting checks to clear in the bank so that we can take more and more money to Russia. But yet I'm just praying that when we first see that child, when we first catch the glimpse of his eyes, that all that trouble and all that stress will fade away. With adopting from Moscow, Russia, the way that program works is you actually have to make pretty much 3 trips. The first trip is to meet the child and accept your referral. The second trip is for a court appointment to meet a judge, and then you have a waiting period, okay, that's a bit over a week, where you can finally take custody. Now, sometimes people can combine the second and third trips, but when it came to the first trip, we were so thankful to have my father come up from Florida.
These are his pants. These are his shirts.
This is my father. Now, I'm an only child. He doesn't have a whole lot of experience with multiple children in the same household, all at once, flying solo. You ready, Grandpa?
I am ready. This is a grandpa test. I can do this.
You can do this.
Tomorrow, Mommy and Daddy are leaving for Russia, and I am Grandpa. I am Grandpa alone from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. But I can do this. Emma's gonna be my big helper. Right, Emma?
Yep. I'm going to be so happy about baby brother. So Joshua can live with us at breakfast with us.
Are you nervous, anxious?
A little bit. Nervous and anxious. I just worry about the kids. It's a long time for them to be without their mommy and daddy.
Mommy will be gone for Florida.
I'm gonna be gone for a while.
I love you. I'll see you soon. Okay?
Love you.
Here we are in Charlotte, North Carolina, getting ready to start our journey.
Everything's different. We only know a little bit of the language.
I figured out which wash I want. I think. I don't really know.
I mean, you don't know what these words say. So we found the manual. But of course, it's in Cyrillic as well.
I mean, we knew that it would be 30s and 40s, but we were a little surprised to still see snow.
Yesterday, we met with the Ministry of Education. Our paperwork was approved, and hopefully on Tuesday, we'll hear of the final referral, and we'll get to meet our son.
So are you still being a little crazy? We were able to talk through Skype.
So many crazy stuff.
It was fun. It's great to be able to see that they're doing okay, to be able to talk to them, to be able to let them see you.
And maybe I was sprinkle party, and we would try to eat all those sprinkles together in our mouth.
Oh no, was that good?
Yeah, it was a little tasty.
I think that made the transition and our time apart a little easier because our first trip was 10 days long, which was the longest that we had ever been apart from our children.
Right now, we're waiting for a phone call. You know, international adoption isn't something that I grew up basically wanting to do. Having grown up as an only child, big families weren't always that familiar to me. I remember, I think the first year we were married, I went to a Thanksgiving dinner with Hanna, and there were 14 people there at Thanksgiving dinner, and we remember feeling a little bit overwhelmed. But we love kids, with 3 of our own, and obviously a 4th one being added to our family. We're definitely very, very excited.
This morning we got a phone call. I was kind of hoping maybe we would.
The driver would be here about 2 o'clock. Right now it's about 11:30. Hannah and I are dressed. We're ready. So we're excited. We're nervous.
I shouldn't have put mascara on.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
So when we went to the orphanage, we walk in and we're in these very large playrooms. That's where we were kind of sequestered off. We never saw where he was gonna eat or sleep or anything like that. We were just in these playrooms, and so we were waiting for a few minutes. These were very anxious moments for my wife. And then all of a sudden, one of the Russian caretakers walks into the room, and she's got this beaming, precious child in her hands.
Oh, sweet boy.
And she just kind of said, "Here," to my wife. And it was like, "Oh, okay." And it was like such a quick introduction, and it all happened so fast. It happened so fast that I could barely get the camera going.
Do you say hi? Hi, sweet boy. Did you just wake up from your nap? Huh? Did you just wake up?
When they brought Joshua in, it was amazing. It was like this little baby was gonna get to be our baby.
You are such a handsome young man. Hi. Hi.
It didn't take but moments before my wife said, "This is our son."
This is Joshua. This is our baby boy. This is our baby boy. Look. We were being entrusted with this wonderful life. And so just seeing that for the first time, it was like, wow, this is gonna be our son. This is gonna be our baby. He is on the go. He is a mover and a shaker. Hey boy, look at you. He's doing really well. He's doing really well.
We had a couple hours that day just playing with him. Just him. In one room. What a dream for a little baby. A new mama and a new daddy, all to himself. Is this an unforgettable day or what?
It is. I don't think I realize it right now.
So we had 5 days of just spending a few hours each afternoon with baby Joshua.
These are your sisters. That's Emma and Elise. Oh, they love you. They can't wait to meet you. This is your sister Elise. It's a little old. He's like, I really like to eat it. There's your brother on his first birthday. Eating cake. He loved it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yummy.
That's not too much, because you just ate. You just ate lunch. Yeah. This is a little safer. Yeah.
He was on the go a lot. He's just doing so good. Better than I expected. For a baby who has been in an orphanage his whole life, oftentimes because they have 12 babies to take care of, they spend a lot of times in their cribs. They don't get a lot of movement time on the floor. But he was very strong, and he really loved the freedom of being able to move around the floor and to explore all the different places. We signed paperwork today saying that we accept his referral, and then we have to leave for about a month and a half while they process paperwork and get our court date. So until we get custody, this is the most concentrated amount of time that we'll get to spend with him. Da. In these moments that we get to spend with him, I don't think that we'll fully know the importance of them until we don't get to see him for a while.
You know, you're here, you've invested so much emotional energy and so much of your heart, so much of your mind, so much of your passion into this child, and then to leave him.
It was hard. It's hard because you already bond and attach. And I think even just like you do in pregnancy where you bond and attach with your baby that's in your womb, through that whole time that we were preparing our dossier and preparing to go and meet him, you had already fell in love with this little boy that you hadn't even met yet. And then you got to be there and you got to hold him and meet him and love him. Just made the bond that much stronger.
Anytime you put your heart out there, anytime you open your heart out to love, you open your heart up to being hurt, to difficulty, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel, though. And so coming home, we hit the ground running. We had a whole bunch of garage sales, yard sales. People donated tons and tons of stuff. We filled our garage with things, and so we had these set of signs that we would just kind of put out, you know, on the road. Well, should we put out the signs today? Yeah, let's put out the signs today. Let's have a sale. And so it was just what we did.
We had people donate clothing. We had furniture donated. We sent out several emails, sent out an email to our church saying, hey, we want to have a garage sale. Can you donate things? Because obviously one family does not have enough stuff to raise the amount of money that it's needed.
It's expensive. International adoption is expensive. It's not cheap. But you're talking about the life of a child. And what price wouldn't you pay for your child? So 8 weeks later, we finally made it back to Moscow, Russia. Everything is green, the roses are blooming, the trees are just lush. We go to the orphanage, you can hardly recognize it because the environment had totally changed.
We are back here at the orphanage in Russia, and we get to see baby Joshua today for an hour and a half, and then we're gonna go into town and go to court and see a judge who's gonna finalize our adoption today. So, we're glad to be here. He's gotten bigger. He's almost walking.
No, I don't know if he really remembered us. Hopefully he's felt that there was something special about these two people that all of a sudden come back and embrace him as his own parents and love on him, even if for 90 minutes. I think that kind of got us excited and got us ready for meeting the judge and prepared our heart and mind for what we were about to officially commit to. Even though in our heart and mind we had already committed to Joshua, but before the Russian state, before a Russian judge, to officially state our commitment to love and to care for this child, we were ready. Judge asked us, what will happen when and if, baby Joshua gets sick, or, will you take care of him? And I said, absolutely, because Hanna and I are committed. We're committed to this child. And so at the end of that appointment, she said the court rules that Joshua is ours. Tomorrow, we take custody of baby Joshua and basically get to take him back to our flat. He will be in our possession.
You're so tall. How are you gonna be so tall? Are you gonna play basketball? It was cool. It was kind of anticlimactic. It was very formal. We just changed his clothes and left without much ceremony. Adopting is amazing because you get this beautiful person to be a part of your family, and it's amazing how soon you fall in love with them and how soon they are a part of you, part of your family. So it's amazing. And how can you not know that God put you together with this little one? I'm so excited to be back with our other kiddos and to be together as a family. I have him. He's sitting right here on my lap, Lacey girl. A few more days we have to finish his paperwork so he can come home.
My turn.
They're so excited. They can't wait for you to be home so they can chase you and Jonathan can wrestle you. He keeps us hopping. I don't know what we're gonna do on the plane for 9 hours.
So after a gazillion hours of flights going across the Atlantic Ocean, in which this 10-month-old baby did not sleep a wink, we got to Charlotte, North Carolina. Are you ready? Are you ready? And Josh was excited, and we're coming down the escalator. And boom, there's our family. It was a wonderful homecoming.
We were exhausted, but it was just so great to see everybody waiting for us with balloons and flyers, and to see our kids, and to know that we were together as a family. I missed them so much, and just to be able to be together was great.
After months and months of work and praying, this was it. This was what it was all about, to bring him home. To bring him home.
I remember with the birth of each of our children, just having family there, and it was just such a celebration of life. And so to be able to continue that with Joshua was just such a blessing.
We want it to be memorable. And we want it to be memorable not just for him, but to be memorable for our children and for our family. None of us had ever done anything like this before. None of my family had ever adopted, ever given it the thought or the mind. And we just wanted it to be special for everyone.
Captain, don't got a smile for me.
So now, after a career of international travel and seeing children from other countries, and then now to see a child from the other part of the world sitting at my dinner table, and someone that we read the bedtime story to, and one that I kiss goodnight as we go to sleep. Man, that's special. To be honest, sometimes I wonder, what does Joshua's birth mom think? Does she wonder about this child? So in some ways, there's this underlying accountability. I just want her to know he's loving, but he's very strong-willed. He always sleeps on top of the covers with his bottom sticking straight up in the air. He loves pancakes and syrup. He laughs so hard when he's tickled. And he's loved very, very much. There was one day, not too long ago, we were at lunch, okay, at my office. And so there's people I know all around the office, and some of the people I know came up, and this one lady picked up Joshua and was holding him and cradling him and just so excited to hold him, because she had been hearing about our adoption for so long. And she started to walk away and started to show Joshua off to some of the other people around the lunchroom. And Emma and Elise and Jonathan went all up in arms, and they're crying and they're sobbing. Where is Joshua going? And it was just such a moving moment, because you saw right then and there what their new brother meant to them and how much they loved him.
As Christians, we are adopted into God's family. He loves us and he pursues us to be a part of his family. And I think adopting a child and pursuing that child and loving that child is a part of a way that we can walk like Christ walked, to be like Christ is, and to paint that picture for the world of what God's family really looks like.
And so to be able to illustrate to others how God loves us through our family, adoption becomes a ministry. Just in the last several weeks, several people have come up and asked, how can we do this? We want to ask you questions. And so I just said, yeah, let's sit down, let's talk, because it's a wonderful thing. And the need is huge. And there are children, a lot of them, that are looking for families. A loving mom, a loving dad, a loving family to be a part of.